In this video, I will talk about 3.6e AI dilemmas. The key terms that we will talk about is fairness and bias in design and use, accountability in design and use, transparency in design and use, uneven and underdeveloped laws, regulation and governance, automation and displacement of humans in multiple contexts and roles. So first, fairness and bias in design and use. Bias means the action of supporting or opposing a particular person or thing in an unfair way because of allowing personal opinions to influence your judgment. Bias in AI comes from the data, the model itself, and the human reviewer. The bias in data can come from historical bias that are already existing in the data caused by history, representation bias from the sample that we collect, such as ethnicity, white skin, dark skin, and measurement bias, the bias when collecting data or samples. There are also bias in modeling, which is evaluation bias that arises when the model does not meet the benchmark, aggregation bias when a single model is not suited for all groups such as ethnicity, and bias in human review when the human reviewer overrides the model prediction from their own bias. And fairness is the absence of prejudice or preference for an individual or group based on their characteristics. Best practice is to make sure that predictions are calibrated for each group, and in addition, you may decide to make separate models and boundaries for each group. Next are accountability in design and use. Developers of AI are responsible for the development, process, decision, and outcomes. Companies should create a policy that is clear so that no one is confused for accountability and responsibility. The goals of accountability in AI are compliance, so that AI align with ethical, legal, or technical norms. Report, AI that are interpretable to others so that its decision can be explained and justified. Oversight, which is to find relevant facts or evidence to evaluate the performance of AI. And enforcement, to deter unwanted behaviors. Transparency in design and use. AI transparency is about the clear explanation and reasoning behind the output and making the decision-making process accessible and understandable to the public. This is caused by the black box problem of AI, where the AI's algorithm cannot be viewed as simply as clear code. This became a problem when algorithmic bias was spotted, caused by its training data. There are advantages and disadvantages to transparency of AI. The advantages are, it decreases the risk of error and misuse. As AI are developed by many stakeholders, there can be a lot of errors and misuse. If the engineer doesn't explain how to handle the output of the model, AI can be counterproductive to others. Next, it distributes responsibility. For example, an executive who approve use of AI need to know how the model was designed, how the training data was sourced, what is the objective function and why it was chosen, and how it performs against benchmark. If the executive and end user was not given this information, they cannot be reasonably held accountable for any mistakes of AI. By being transparent from start to finish, accountability can be distributed among all as they have the knowledge to make the responsible decisions. Lastly, it enables internal and external oversights. Oversight is needed to catch errors made by programmers and to spot future problems that they may not have seen, may be ethical, legal, or reputational risk. There are many decisions in the development process that shouldn't be left solely to the scientists. Transparency also has its disadvantages. Firstly, it will be vulnerable to hacking, as hackers have more information of the inner working and can locate vulnerabilities for them to profit off. To combat this, developers have to keep security at the top of their mind and test their systems. Next, they are more difficult to design, specifically for more complex models with millions of parameters. If transparency is a must, the algorithm need to be simple to understand. Lastly, there is a lack of standardized method to assess transparency. They may generate different results when asked, and this reduces trust in the system and hinder transparency efforts. Uneven and underdeveloped laws, regulation, and governance. Laws regarding AI are severely underdeveloped, as policymakers rather wait to see the use of AI in a certain field before making that law for that certain field. AI governance are important so that we could reap the benefits of AI. Several efforts have been made, such as the Global Partnership of Artificial Intelligence, which is to ensure public confidence in trust and in technology. Automation and displacement of humans in multiple contexts and roles. The issue that machines are replacing humans have been here since the 1800s, where a group called the Luddite destroys machine as they believe that it ruins people's livelihood. However, as time goes on, people just find new job that they could do after their tasks have been automated by an automation. That said, there are positive and negative impact of automation on the job market. The advantages are automation could increase productivity and efficiency as companies could produce more goods with fewer employees, leading to cost savings that could be passed to the consumer with lower prices on their product. Automation could also improve working conditions as it reduces the need for manual labor. This would lower the rate of workplace injuries and worker well-being. Better product quality and safety are also produced by automation, as human errors and mistakes are removed in the production process. Customer service will also improve as responses can be automated and AI could produce more accurate and faster responses that is accessible at all times. There are many more advantages to automation, but now let's talk about the negative impact of automation. As usual, there will be job losses in certain sectors such as factories. This can lead to underemployment for workers with lower levels of education and skills. They could also create an income inequality as lower skilled jobs are replaced with higher scale, higher paying jobs. Another problem is that the human aspect of the product are removed. This can lead to decrease in human satisfaction, specifically in sectors that rely on human interactions such as healthcare and customer service. Lastly, it may contribute to our over-reliance on technology, which can be problematic if the technology fails. There are many more disadvantages to certain groups and people. Companies have to weigh the pros and cons of automation so that society would benefit from them. That's all from me. Thank you for watching my video.